Hello everyone and welcome to Brickstars. In this video we're taking a look at this week's staff-picked MOCs on Bricklink. And as you can see, there's a beautiful 10 sets that we're going to be discussing here. Of course, starting off with the Valentine's Day Heart by user The Cardinal. It's called Pick a Brick Valentine Heart, and of course this is a nice little MOC, not very big, maybe 2 inches by 2 inches. But it would be a beautiful little thing to leave on the counter for your sweetheart, kind of celebrate Valentine's Day. So really not a all things told detailed build, but just a nice little simple heart shape that you can put. And if both you and your Valentine are fans of Lego, this would be the perfect set for that. Next up we have this castle. It's called Dragon Castle by user Bill4747. And as you can see here, this is a great build. And just reading here the description, it says the home of the Dragon Riders, sometimes called the Dragon Riders Castle, located up in the mountains with nearby caves, dragons, and everything is available in the colors shown. Just looking at the actual build technique, you could tell it's not quite the same style that Lego tends to use. It's a more detailed style, so it's always neat to kind of end up with to see the differences, the different types of build styles that other people use when they build it. But you could tell here, beautiful use for the sort of turret castle or turret part of the castle. Love the shields and use of this detail there. And of course we have the built dragons, which are very, very good looking. Like, they definitely do look like dragons. I actually love them. They're simple yet detailed and perfectly kind of show the fact that they are really dragons to this set. Now, interesting use of the sort of base plate style design, or kind of square base plate, but I do like the fact they built in this bridge or kind of like rising entry to it. Now the side is very detailed, as you could see here. This is a pretty heavy model. As you could see, it's not really working perfectly, but it does give you a good idea of the build. Now look at the detail on these rocks. That part, like I said, Lego would probably not do this level of detail when it comes to the rocks, but I think it works really nicely. And of course the turrets, you could see the dragons, and of course you could peer into the castle and get an idea of exactly what is going on. There's a little building and kind of a balcony. So really detailed build, a really nice use of a MOC for building an awesome looking castle with dragons. The World Record Egg by Red Falcon. This one made me laugh at first just because of the simplicity of it, but I do appreciate the build regardless, and I think that having the technique where you can kind of stack bricks around the full build is definitely really cool. Now it says World Record Egg, but it doesn't really give a description. So it says the completely buildable version of the egg. Maybe I'm missing something here, but regardless, I do think that it is just a cool, simple build, nice color, and of course you built an egg, a spherical shaped object out of square bricks. The Hot Wheels Twin Mill by user Spartacus Prime 1. This is a fantastic build, and I get excited every time I see sort of a car that resembles something in real life and is that level of detail, and this set definitely takes that prize. So you could see just the different variations of this car, the different colors, and then the side profile, the rear, kind of the cockpit with 2 seats that do fit 2 minifigures. So it actually matches up to 8 stud wide Speed Champ sets, and you can see here that here it is next to a little truck. But what is really cool is that it says the most iconic Hot Wheels car of all times, the Twin Mill, came in 1969, and really it goes on to explain this type of car, and then they made a life-size version of it at some point, and this one is intended to be based on the actual toy. So what is really cool is I actually went ahead and found a 1969 version of that car. As you could see, it's worn down and looks terrible here, but here's another picture of one and yet another picture of one, so you could really see that shape replicated very nicely in this build. And if we open it up here, you can tell again that it is this car. So they went ahead and made a Hot Wheels car out of Lego, which is actually pretty impressive, and all the proportions and the shape is very well represented here. So I love this, and I applaud the creator of this. The Blacktron Interceptor by Alex Sodon. This is a really cool space looking set. It says a medium-sized space fighter built in the same design theme as the Blacktron theme, with an imposing V-shaped prominent logo. It's no doubt which faction is responsible for the shenanigans that this craft is responsible for. You get one minifigure and one drone in the cargo bay. And what is really cool are these photos just mimicking kind of box art style, which I really love to see. But you could tell the V-shape, very impressive, beautiful little cockpit here. The coloring scheme matches perfectly with what you see kind of Lego doing. And what I really love is in this photo here, you could see kind of this spacecraft as it approaches you. And then here you see the drone kind of taking off in that back area. Now the builder was nice enough to actually give us the instructions on how to build this whole set. So if you are wanting to build it, you can do it here. And of course we have the model, which will just get us a nice little idea of what it looks like. So as we see here, this is the hatch cover, and you can kind of tell through the reflection, you see the drone in there. So that's a nice little drone. And then the overall shape of this, including the thruster or booster and kind of the front face with these either thrusters or rockets, just a beautiful matching themed space set, which I love to see. The Mechamill Turtle by user Zoingo. This is a really cool looking build, and what's really nice is that if you take a look here at the description, the builder actually has other builds that you could do for this theme. So they kind of developed that and give us the instructions and a 3D model of it. But really it is neat because it just looks the part, you know, looks definitely like a turtle. And here you could see it kind of can become the leg of another build or a creation. But even still, I do love the colors, the blue and the gray. I definitely get kind of Avatar type of vibes from this build, and I do like Avatar, so I definitely do like how this works. Now you see it comes with guns on the side, so it's an armed turtle and a little like beak and stuff. So beautiful build, nice touches, and I guess the theme is that it's supposed to be a machine, so it's not a really animal, it's a Mechamill, a machine, which has kind of these guns and a mechanical style of build. Mirage V2 Rise of the Beast by user Tierney243. This is a really cool Transformers style build, and as you could see here in the description, says it took a few weeks to build, no doubt with the complexity of this, but it was well represented. Now this is the version 2, so presumably this user had built the first one and now went ahead and did it again, and giving us more detail and properly showcasing what was intended. Now what is cool here is that the robot actually does transform into a car, so a really neat way to have kind of the mechanics and the solid bricks merging into two different builds. I always find that fascinating, and really that is just, you have to think of the logistics of building something like that that transforms into a car. So you're building one version while constantly trying to readjust it, rejig it into the Transformer version. So I really do applaud this builder, because anytime I see stuff like this, you just know that it has to be detailed and well thought out, and you can imagine the reiterations of work that went into this type of build. The 2x1 Cottage by user MN Bricks. I just love this build because at first glance it looks like it's just a Lego brick, but as you look more closely at it, you could tell that it is a full-on like mini house style cottage, complete with little plants. It has a curb around it, a beautiful detailed tree, and presumably an interior that is inside here. You can kind of glimpse through the windows a little interior there, but really this build is quite fascinating in the creativity that it was taking sort of a brick and building something out of it. Now it is inspired by a Bricklink designer program, and here we are looking at the model. You can just gauge and see the different types of bricks that went into this, but I just love the fact that it's a modern style, like tiny home build that has the interior as well. As you see here, it kind of looks like a table and kind of a kitchenette, as well as a bed here in the back. So full detail in this build, yet again, on the outside at first, one would think it's a 2x1 brick. So really cool and creative build on this one. April Showers by user Riley17. This is a really neat build with a good use of colors and kind of brings a two-dimensional shape into 3D almost. Here you are looking at a two-dimensional version of it, and you can see the clouds, the rain, the rainbow, and the sun just peeking out. But again, built with a three-dimensional base, so of course it could stand up. Now what is quite sweet about this set is just, again, the simplicity of how it looks, but how it's tied in with all these various pieces to make it actually flat. You don't see any exposed studs other than the sun and this one here. So a nice little build, really creative to see, and beautiful colors. And last but not least, the rainbow dot art by user Julie or something like that, Julie7942. And really this is just a nice assortment of colored bricks and the text hello. But as you can see, the amount of colors that go into this to create that kind of fading shape is a really nice and creative use of that. So while it is simple to look at, it is pretty intricate in the build technique of laying out exactly that many single tile pieces and getting that color scheme, especially with the black board around it. So neat build here and definitely nice to look at. So that sums up this week's top 10 from the Bricklink staff. Some really creative builds out there, some simple builds, but yet beautiful, and we have an egg. So hope you enjoyed the video, stay tuned for more, and until next time.